30 seconds away from 5 minutes till the start of the race.
We are back on location today live for day 2. The action is set to begin here at the Mushers Hall. The snow's falling, the parking lot's full, and the dogs are ready. We're getting excited. Steve's going to kick things off. We are back on location today live for day 2. The
Three minutes until the start.
That's 3 minutes till we start our first team, and he is on the starting line in bib number 1. This is Rob Peebles. Rob is from Alberta, Canada, and he is a regular on our trail here. He's raced quite a few North Americans. He's yet to win it, but he's in a good position today. He was 36 seconds faster than the next fastest team. So he has a 36-second advantage. Not a lot with 50 miles of racing yet in front of us for the next 2 days. So we'll keep track and see how things develop. Rob says thanks to his family and his friends, everybody that keeps him going and helps him out all the time. Takes a whole family operation to keep a dog team like this going. Rob's been running real well this year. He won the race in Tanacross just a little while back.
2 minutes.
So no surprising that he had a good first run here. He started 13 dogs yesterday, so he has shortened his string to 10 today. All the mushers know a lot of times this race is won by the dogs that you leave at home because you don't want to have to stop and pick one up. That adds to the load in your sled. It takes time to load them, and that's very costly when there's just seconds between the teams. And so everybody goes with the dogs they are most assured can make it around the trail the whole way. Especially with the hill at the end of the trail, it's a real disadvantage to have any extra weight in the sled. So Rob's going out today with 10 dogs. Once again, this is Rob Peebles.
1 minute. 30 seconds. Fifteen. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And the second heat is underway with number 1, Rob Peebles hitting the trail. Nice smooth start with his 10 dogs. Everybody on that team on the line charging on out of here. Pretty sight run down the hill. All these teams get smooth starts or fast starts typically with the grade in the trail going downhill. Gives them a little bit of an advantage to hit top speed right away. Brings number 2 to the starting line now, and this is a Michael Tetzner. Michael Tetzner is from Germany, racing dogs out of his own Tetzner Racing Farm. He says thanks to his family and his handler, Gregor. Also, thank you to the sponsors of Michael Tetzner, the Cheap Creek Lodge, Dandler Sleds, Lupine, and Casco. All sponsors of Michael Tetzner. Michael's time yesterday was 66
1 minute.
38, 66 minutes, 38 seconds and change. That gives him a 4.5 second advantage ahead of the team behind him. Needs to make up 36 seconds to catch the team in front of him. Certainly in a position with 2 more days of racing to jockey around. Michael's been running our trail for quite a few years. He's
30 seconds.
a veteran here, never won the race, but this could be his weekend. Michael Tetzner from Germany.
Fifteen. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And Michael Tetzner is underway. On the starting line now, bib number 3, this is Amy Dunlap. Amy is from Salcha, Alaska, one of our local drivers. Had a nice strong run yesterday. Started 12 dogs yesterday, so she has shortened her team to 10. Nice steady 10. Amy says thanks to her husband Jason for everything that he does around the house and
1 minute.
with the dog team. Thanks also to her sister Lisa and her brother-in-law Jeff. And a really good friend, Mike Cox, also. All thank yous and helpers of Amy Dunlap's team from Salcha, Alaska.
Thirty seconds.
Amy is just 23 seconds behind the team in front of her, and she is just 13 seconds ahead of the team behind her. So things are really thick here in the top 10.
15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And number 3, Amy Dunlap is underway. On the starting line now, in bib number 4, this is Ken Cheezick. He is from Fife Lake, Michigan. He is a regular on our GCI Open North American Trails. He's always one of the front runners. Had a nice strong run yesterday. He is just 13 seconds behind Amy Dunlap, and he's only 0.3 of a second ahead of Lena Streeper. So it is real close in this part of the field. Ken wants to say thanks to his wife, Lori, and kennel partners, Dee and Krush Parteau, the Kimball family.
1 minute.
Matt Wardenberg and the Collins family and the Norwood family. All sorts of folks helping Ken Cheezick out. The Woods and Stirling for allowing them to use training trails. And they're staying at Don Brown's house. Thanks to them for training on Gary Markley and Jason Dunlap's trails. Tight dog mushing community here. Everybody helping everyone out.
30 seconds.
Ken says thanks to his sponsors, Risden's Sleds and Rigs and Zeus's Juice. All sponsors of Ken Cheezick from Fife Lake, Michigan.
15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
At number 4, Ken Cheezick is underway. On the starting line now, in bib number 5, this is Lena Streeper. She is from Fort Nelson, British Columbia. Had a really nice run yesterday. Right in the thick of things, that Streeper kennel is always right in the running. She says thanks to her husband, Buddy, who's just behind her in the standings currently. Terry and Mariah and her mom for looking after the girls, and Heather Reddington, and Debbie and Alex Stegman, and Alva and Clara, all the folks helping out.
1 minute.
Sponsoring the Streeper teams is the Candlewood Inns and Suites, as well as Red Paw and Captain Cook Hotel and Canine Health Forward, Fort Nelson Bulk Fuels, and Dalex Auto. All sponsors and supporters. This is a competitive team. You keep an eye on this one. Lena won the stage stop race down in Wyoming earlier this year, and a second place finish in La Paz.
30 seconds.
She was third last year in this event, right in the thick of things. So keep an eye on number 5, Lena Streeper.
15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
And Lena Streeper is underway with 13 dogs on the tow line, so she has shortened her string 3 from yesterday. She started 16. Brings number 6 to the starting line, and this is John Erhart. He is from Tanana, Alaska, and he's got 12 of his best on the tow line today. Had 14 yesterday, so he's just leaving 2 at home. Looks like the dogs are in good condition. John says thanks to Christine Erhart and Larry and Dwayne Roberts for taking care of a whole bunch of stuff, and handlers Sean Erhart and family, and Dad Lester Erhart. Core of the Erhart family. American Mechanical sponsoring John Erhart, as well as Wright's Air and Russ Wood and the whole Erhart family.
30 seconds. Fifteen. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Number 6, John Erhart's underway. A little bit of a tangle. Well, John Erhart with a little bit of a struggle getting things together there, a little bit of a tangle on the starting line. It's a challenge with excited dogs that are trying to get out of here in a hurry. Looks like everything's running real smooth for him now as he heads out on the trail. Number 7 on the starting line right now is Greg Taylor, another local driver. He wants to thank his sponsors, also the Mountain Movers, Paving Products, and Banao Yukon, all
1 minute.
supporters of Greg Taylor. So I was telling you things are really close, and they are so close that Greg Taylor and Buddy Streeper had exactly the same times yesterday to a tenth of a second. And so there was a flip of a coin yesterday. The race marshal flipped, and Greg won the flip.
30 seconds.
So he gets to go out in 7th position, and he will be followed by Buddy Streeper, although they have the exact same time after one day of racing. Greg's down to 12 dogs today. He started 16 yesterday, so he's left 4 at home.
15. 10.
This is Greg Taylor.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
On the starting line now, this is Buddy Streeper from Fort Nelson, British Columbia. He has won this race a number of times. He's always in the contention, finished second last year. He is the reigning Anchorage Fur Rendezvous champion from just a couple of weeks ago. So keep your eye on this guy. He might be wearing bib number 8 today, but that certainly can change. He had exactly the same time as Greg Taylor, and they're just a matter of a second or so, 1.1 seconds actually, behind the teams in front of
1
them.
minute.
So we have several teams here, about 4 of them, that are essentially all tied after the first day of racing. We'll see a lot of jockeying around. Thanks to all the sponsors of the Streeper Kennel, like Candlewood Inn and Suites, Red Paw, Captain Cook Hotel, Canine Health Forward, Fort Nelson Bulk Fuels, and Dalex Auto. All supporters of the Streeper Kennels and Buddy Streeper.
30 seconds. $15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And number 8, Buddy Streeper is underway. Buddy's starting 15 dogs today, so he left 1 home from the 16 he started yesterday.
All right, guys.
On the starting line now, in bib number 9, this is Mark Artem. Mark Artem's another one of our Canadian drivers, back once again from Alberta, where he is a commercial real estate man when he's not driving dogs. Got 14 dogs on the tow line today, so he left 2 at home from the 16 he started yesterday. Mark Artem, always one of the front-running teams here, says thanks to his family, Brooke, Maya, Elle, and Noah. Also their neighbor Mandy helping out, taking care of the kennel at home. Thanks to
1 minute.
Arlie Reynolds for some great dogs, and some of them have come through Joey and Pam Reddington. This year's race dedicated to the memory of Joey Reddington. Thanks also to Roxy Wright for some tips on working with these dogs.
Thirty seconds.
This is Mark Artem.
$15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
And number 9, Mark Artem's underway. 14 dogs lining out of here nice. No problems for him. On the starting line now, bib number 10, this is Emily Entrikin, another local Fairbanks driver. Emily had a nice run yesterday. Earned her top 10 starting position today, running dogs out of the Rooster Tail Kennel. She's starting 10 dogs today. That's just 1 less from the 11 she started yesterday, so her dogs are
1
in good
minute.
shape. Says thanks to all of the friends and fellow mushers who've helped her along the way, and her sponsor is Everett's Air Cargo.
$30 seconds. $15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
And number 10, Emily Entrikin is underway. All 10 of her dogs looking nice off the starting line. Heading around the big sweeping curve. On the starting line now, in bib number 11, we have Marvin Cochran from North Pole, Alaska. Our local driver. Marvin's the past champion of this race. He's always one of the front runners. Had a strong run yesterday. Team looked pretty nice coming home. Sponsored by Great Northwest Incorporated and Teamster Local 959, as well as the Mountain Movers of Alaska, all sponsors and supporters
1 minute.
of Marvin Cochran. Marvin says thanks to the whole Cochran family and Robert and Ron Cochran and Tom and Sharon Huntington also for helping out. And Marvin's got 14 dogs on the tow line, started 16 yesterday, so his dogs are well conditioned.
30 seconds. Fifteen. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
And Marvin Cochran is underway. On the starting line now, bib number 12, this is Nikki Seo. Originally from South Korea and now living in Salcha. He's been a regular on our trails. Always a competitive team also. Had a little bit of trouble down in the fur rendezvous a couple of weeks ago. Dinged up a couple of dogs with some foot issues, but he's back on the trail here. Team looked real good yesterday.
1 minute.
아, 여기 주고 와야 된다. 나.
30 seconds. Fifteen. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
Number 12, Nikki Seo is underway with his 10 dogs. On the starting line now, bib number 13, this is Armon Johnson. He is from Whitehorse, Yukon Territory. We welcome him to the Open North American Trails. This is his first shot running around the North American Trails, so we welcome him. Hope you enjoy it. I think you probably will. Likes going to the Toke Race of Champions. It's a little closer to home for him when he's driving up from Whitehorse, but we're glad you made it all the way to Fairbanks. Sponsored by Blue Ware Energy and First Mate Dog Food. This is Armon.
1 minute.
Armand Johnson from Whitehorse.
Thirty seconds.
Nice to see our Canadian drivers here. Armin's going out with 10 dogs today. That's 4 less than yesterday. He started 14 yesterday.
15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
And number 13, Armand Johnson from Whitehorse. He's underway. We are starting to get checkpoint times off of KFAR 660 and through the first checkpoint for several teams. Slower than yesterday, not surprising at all in that we've got new snow on the trail, slow things down a little bit. On the starting line now in bib number 14, this is Don Cousins from Crooked Creek, Alberta. This is his 35th time running around the Open North American Trail. 35 years he's been at this. Says thanks to his wife, Faye, who's been supporting him every year of those 35 years and more than that. Supporting his dog addiction here. We're glad he's back.
1 minute.
Don Cousins from Crooked Creek, Alberta, also known as Cousin Don. Don finished 5th just a few weeks back out in Canicross. Well, he's definitely got a competitive dog team here. Thanks to his sponsor, Inspire Scotland. They've helped
30
out.
seconds.
Also thanks to Dale Rado, Elisa Buteri, and Dan and Debbie McGrath.
$15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And number 14, Don Cousins, is underway. He's got 14 dogs helping him today, so he's dropped a few from yesterday. Brings number 15 to the starting line now, and this is James Wheeler from Clam Gulch, Alaska. He's going out with 14 dogs today. He had 17 yesterday, so he shortened his string just a tad. Says thanks to his wife for all of her help. Also thanks to sponsor William Haynes. James is another regular on the open trail here, always one of the contenders. Things are real tight in
1 minute.
in the standings this year, all the way down through all of the standings. He's only about 20 seconds behind the team ahead of him.
$30 seconds. $15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
At number 15, James Wheeler is underway. James James having a little trouble. Dog cut in the corner a little short, went in the snowbank. He's got a challenge. He's got a tangle there. One of his dogs on the right-hand side stepped off the trail into the deep snow and went down and caused a tangle in the middle of his team. That was unfortunate. You can see how much time is lost by any sort of a tangle. Oh, James has a loose dog now. Okay, on the starting line, while we've got the excitement down the trail with James Wheeler, we've got Doug Butler.
1 minute.
Another first-timer on the Open North American Trail. He is from Middlebury, Vermont. And we got a fun story with Doug here, Doug Butler. They're doing a documentary film on him. So any spectators, if you get any video footage of Doug, they'd like you to email it to ONAC Film. That's Open North American Championship Film at gmail.com. If you can email any of that,
30 seconds.
your footage might just be in the feature program that they're doing on Doug Butler from Middlebury, Vermont. Says thanks to his family, his wife especially, and everybody, the neighbors, all helping out, and sponsor Tommy Hyde.
15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
There's the start for Doug Butler. Everything seems to be going smooth for him. We're past the divot left on the side of the trail there. Some of these teams running a little tight on the inside of that corner, and they get off the trail. That's not convenient. You can see James Wheeler lost probably a minute there in all of that. Shannon says about 1:16 was lost while he was shut down. So that's quite a bit of time. On the starting line, we've got bib number 17, and this is Alex Crittenden, and she is a rookie from Bondurant, Wyoming. Only a rookie to this race, though. She is a champion dog driver from quite a few races around, all around North America, with a 4th place finish in the pedigree stage stop
1
race.
minute.
She also won the Pindale Sled Dog Classic, and she won the Ashton Dog Derby earlier this year, and a 2nd place finish at Cross Lake, Manitoba. So consistently a front-running championship team from Bondurant, Wyoming. This is Alex Crittenden. She says thanks to her family and everybody who's been supportive, especially her husband, Sam. She says she misses you,
30
Sam.
seconds.
Also, Frank Teasley, owner and sponsor, just about everything with this team.
$15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And Alex Crittenden is underway. She's got 12 dogs today, just 1 less than yesterday. She had 13 on the tow line. Another first-time driver to the Open North American Trails. This is Jennifer Stirling. Jennifer Stirling from Willow, Alaska. She wants to thank her husband, too, for all of his hard work, helping with the team, doing a lot of the training, keeping the trails taken care of. Real family affair, getting these dog teams going. Couldn't do it without the help of family and friends, so she thanks all the folks who've been supporting her for all this time. Jennifer Stirling from Willow, Alaska.
One minute. Thirty seconds. $15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
And that's the start for Jennifer Stirling. She's got 13 dogs today, only 1 less than yesterday. Brings number 19 to the starting line, and this is Evan Hahn. Evan Hahn from Tanana, Alaska. Wants to thank more of his friends and helpers. Darren for working with the dogs back at home. Courtney for working with the pups. Pat Moore for teaching him everything. Thank you to sponsors for Evan Hahn, the Golden Heart Construction, also the Robinson family, Tolavana Construction, and Rocky Riley and Peter Moore, all sponsors of Evan Hahn.
1 minute.
Tanana. Evan's got 14 dogs on the tow line today, so his team's staying strong for him. He started 15 yesterday, so he's only leaving one home today. Most folks know you can't add any new dogs to your team. All you can
30
do
seconds.
is leave somebody home if they look like they're not feeling up to it. You can leave them home, but you can't put any replacement dogs in your team.
15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And number 19, Evan Hahn is underway. All 14 of his dogs working hard on the way out of here. Nice smooth start. On the starting line now in bib 20, this is Tommy Bird. He's from Saskatchewan, Canada. He's another regular here on the Open North American Trails. Let's say thank you to his wife, Marion, going 40 years, and the grandkids for helping at the dog yard.
1 minute.
Tommy's got 14 dogs on the tow line today. He started 16 yesterday, so he's only leaving 2 of them at home. These guys look ready to roll. Tommy's quite a cheerleader, isn't he? He's always a favorite with the fans. Tommy Bird
30 seconds.
from Saskatchewan getting ready to roll.
Fifteen. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And that's the start for number 20. Tommy Bird is underway. And Sherna Gluck, could you please meet up with your family at the timing board? Sherna Gluck to the timing board. It's right underneath the time tower here. Meet up with the rest of your family there, please. On the starting line now in bib 21, this is Andrea Bond from Salcha. Wants to say thank you to Gary Markley, helping with the dogs and training and support, everything that Gary does. Christina Baker for watching Eli so she can train the dogs. Thanks to her sponsors, Ruby Snacks Alaskan Dog Biscuits, and also Everett's Air Fuel and Cargo.
1 minute.
Again, this is Andrea Bond from Salcha. And Sherna Gluck, could you please meet your family? Sherna Gluck, meet your family at the timing board, please. It is right underneath the time tower,
30
facing
seconds.
the start-finish line.
Fifteen. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
Hey, Andrea Bond with a nice fast start. All 12 of her dogs roaring on out of here.
Look at those dogs running so happy. Go, Andrea! Woo!
This brings number 22 to the starting line, and this is Bob Klupatch. Bob Klupatch from Willow, Alaska. He's got 9 dogs on the tow line today. It's just 1 less than yesterday. Only started 10 yesterday. Bob's been coming up here for a long time. He's got like 40 years on our trail running around Jeff Studdard Race Grounds here. He was asking yesterday if we gave a senior citizen advantage, a discount on time for the old timers here. And we don't do that, but we do say thank you
1 minute.
for coming back and joining us. Bob Klupatch from Willow, Alaska, sponsored by Nonstop Dogwear and Rick Outwin and Jan Stores, all supporters of Bob Klupatch.
Thirty seconds. Fifteen. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
Number 22, Bob Klupatch is underway. All 9 of his critters roaring out of here. Okay, that's all 22 teams out on the trail. So keep in touch on KFAR 660 on the AM side of your dial. Listen to Michael Dukes and his crew giving us checkpoint times. Check out the timing board on the front of the time tower where Carol Kane. To the Alaska Dog Mushers website, and we are putting up the checkpoint times on Facebook, on the Dog Mushers Facebook page. So you got a link to the Facebook on our webpage, and you can get checkpoint times there also. But it's nice getting the color commentary from Michael Dukes and company directly on the radio. So if you didn't bring a radio today to listen to them, bring one tomorrow and tune it into KFAR 660. This is the 2018 GCI Open North American Championship, and we are running in the memory of Joey Reddington Jr., who we lost just this year. A great dog man all the way through, great spirit, took excellent care of his dogs, and there are a number of them and their offspring running around the trail today. So we miss you, Joey, but we are dedicating this year's race to your memory. Take this opportunity to head into the big tent, the big white tent. There's craft tables in there. There's also the Alaska Dog Mushers table where you can pick up t-shirts or hats or patches, sweatshirts, hoodies, good stuff to support the Alaska Dog Mushers Association. We appreciate your support with all of that. There's also food service available in there, and there's food service inside the Mushers Hall where it's a little bit warmer. You can stop by the Heart Eats concession stand inside the Mushers Hall, see what they have to offer, as well as the other food vendors inside the big white tent and outside the big white tent. No surprise, checkpoint times today are running significantly slower than yesterday. The folks going through the first checkpoint about 45 seconds slower in that neighborhood than yesterday. The new snow is slowing things down, making it a little bit more of a challenge for the teams as they negotiate 20 miles today. It'll be interesting how this plays out. Some teams go out a little faster and come home a little slower. Some the reverse. Some stay a little steadier all the way around the course. So you can see how things progress by checking out the times on the timing board. Also, get yourself your own timesheet. It adds a little bit extra fun to everything. You can have a timesheet. They have the total elapsed time from yesterday on them and the start order and the hometowns of all the dog drivers that are running in the race. And you can keep track of checkpoint times on there or just see how the standings are going. So there's free timesheets available inside the big white tent at the Dog Mushers table. I think they have a few down here at the timing board also. We'll keep you posted as things develop. Our top 4 leaders have gone through 12 miles of the trail already. And so they will be back here before too long. Looks like the trail is significantly slower than yesterday, as well as teams typically run a little slower the second day of the race. They've been around the trail already once, and so they know it, and they're a little bored saying, hey, we did this yesterday. We'll just take it easy today. So it's typical to see a little bit slower times, but they're quite a bit slower than yesterday so far. A lot of strategy with how the teams play this out over the course of the weekend. You sure don't want to be pushing too hard too early in the race because tomorrow, instead of going 20 miles, we're going to go almost 28 miles. So that makes a big difference, particularly when the teams tomorrow are most likely to be a little smaller than they are today because, again, you can't add any new dogs to your team. You can only leave dogs home that seem to be a little tired or you're not confident in making the extra mileage. So a lot of racing ahead of us. We'll keep you posted as we get more finish or checkpoint times, I should say, and finish times in not too long from now. So for spectators who brought any video technology with you, if you're getting footage of Doug Butler, you should know that they are doing a documentary film about Doug Butler. He is from Vermont, and this is his first time in Fairbanks running in the Open North American. And so they are producing a documentary film about him, and they are asking that any spectators that have footage that includes Doug Butler, if you could email that footage to them, they would appreciate it. And I have the email address here. So if you're getting footage of Doug Butler, please email it to ONAC Film. ONAC as in like Open North American Championship. So onacfilm@gmail.com. And if you have any questions on that, I'm sure that if you stop by Doug Butler's dog truck, you can get more information on that also. Lots of fun with new technology, doing all sorts of things like posting our checkpoint times on the Dog Mushers Facebook page. So as we get them coming in from KFAR radio, we've got Gareth Erhart here on the keyboard punching the numbers in. Lots of activity out on the trail. That's why if you have a radio, you really get this coverage live as it's happening. And out around the 12-mile mark, Buddy Streeper has made up his time interval with Greg Taylor, and his leaders are right behind Greg Taylor. He's just a couple of seconds on the trail behind him. So things, we may see a pass, hard to say, but Buddy Streeper is drafting on Greg Taylor right now around the 12-mile mark. The two front-running teams are through 14 Mile. And again, they're going 20, so we have 6 miles more for them to go.
Hi, we're here with Emily Entrikin in the dog yard, and she has been gracious enough to give us a quick tour of her dog sled and gang line.
Great. Hi. All right. Check it out. We got a fancy sled here. What's really cool about it compared to distance sleds, it's really flexible, right? So you can whip around those corners pretty good. We've got a drag mat right here. That's what keeps the dog slowed down when you just want to slow them down and bring it up. If you want to stop them, you put down the brake to stop.
That's so awesome. Thanks so much, Emily. Have a great race. Hi, we're here with Emily Entrikin in the dog yard, and she has been gracious enough to give us a quick tour of her dog sled and gang line.
Great. Hi. All right. Check it out. We got a fancy sled here. What's really cool about it compared to
We are here with Doug Butler. He is another rookie in this race out of Vermont. He's got to run to the race line any second now, but we just want to get a few words from him real quick.
This has been an outstanding lifetime adventure. The people up here, everything is just incredible. If we can encourage more people to come up here and see this environment and meet these people and do this crazy race, it's an adventure of a lifetime.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Good luck out there today. We are here with Doug Butler. He is another rookie in this race out of Vermont. He's got to run to the race line any second now, but we just want to get a few words from him real quick.
Dog team breaking out of the trees. Another dog team breaking out of the tree line.
The teams are way down the left corner. You can't see them real well if you're on the ground. We have a little advantage from the top of the time tower here, but down in the right side of the field now, our first team coming back is coming around that corner. You should see the leaders. There they are, just coming up over the rise, way down the lower right-hand corner of the field. Okay, this is Michael Tetzner from Germany. He has a pass. The first team is Michael Tetzner, and Rob Peebles is trailing him 100 yards back. So they did swap positions out on the trail. Coming across the upper field, this is Michael Tetzner. His team is charging on home. He was the second team to go out. The first team coming back, and you can see why. They are rolling right along. A little bit of an uphill grade there, but he's got all of his critters on the ground. The 14 he started with are working hard coming home. In the finishing chute is Michael Tetzner and Rob Peebles coming across
Well,
the...
can you make sure the guys in the back don't get near? Yeah, keep them. Thank you.
Okay, Rob Peebles coming across the upper field right now. And Michael Tetzner is over. Welcome home, Michael. Rob Peebles and his 10 dogs coming into the finishing chute right now. And Rob is home. Welcome home, Rob Peebles.
Daytime for Michael Tetzner, 70 minutes, 54.7 seconds. 70, 54.7. Daytime for Rob Peebles, 73 minutes, 37.4 seconds. 73, 37.4.
Another dog team coming this way. Okay, way down in the bottom right corner of the field, just coming up over the rise now, the lead dogs of Amy Dunlap from Salcha. She's on her way home, working up the hill. That's a tough spot right there. You come up over that rise. It's kind of a little speed bump in the trail. And she still has her team rolling right along. Again, this is Amy Dunlap. We're going to have more finishing action coming up real close. We've got Amy Dunlap is now coming across the upper field. Ken Cheezick and Lena Streeper are getting behind the trees right now in the lower field. It's Amy Dunlap here in the finishing chute. All 10 of her dogs working hard. Ken Cheezick in the lower field. He's coming up the hill. He's working, giving his dog some help. Here comes Amy to the finish line. She's over. Welcome home, Amy.
Daytime for Amy Dunlap, 73 minutes, 59.3 seconds, 73, 59.3.
This is Ken Cheezick coming across the upper field right now. His team lined out real nice and closing the gap behind him. Here comes Lena Streeper. Ken's got all 14 of his dogs rolling along. Here's Ken Cheezick, and he is over. Welcome home, Ken. And here comes Lena Streeper. She's charging. She's got all 13 of her friends on the ground working hard. Ooh, Lena's got a little bit of a snag with the leaders there. That just cost her a few. She's over. Welcome home, Lena.
Daytime for Ken Cheezick, 73 minutes, 31.2 seconds, 73, 31.2. Daytime for Lena Streeper, 72 minutes, 15.5 seconds, 72, 15.5.
Here we go with more finishing action. Coming up in the lower field, we have Buddy Streeper. He's passed a couple of teams, and he is bringing his team charging up the hill right now in the lower field. This is Buddy Streeper, all 15 of his friends working hard. He hasn't had to pick anybody up today, and they are charging home. So Buddy is flying today. He's passed 2 teams on the trail already today. He passed John Erhart and Greg Taylor. And this is Buddy Streeper, and he is over. Welcome home, Buddy. More finishing action with John Erhart coming up in the lower field on the right-hand side. This is John Erhart bringing him home.
Daytime for Buddy Streeper, 69 minutes, 28.2 seconds. 69, 28.2.
What a run for Buddy Streeper. That is by far the fastest time today. More finishing action coming up with John Erhart just coming up around the lower field to the upper field. And Greg Taylor has been spotted down to the left side. He's working his way through the clump of trees over to the right side of the lower field now. This is John Erhart. What a pretty sight. All 12 of his friends stretching out real nice coming across the upper field right now. Backlit with the sunshine. John Erhart from Tanana. Here comes Greg Taylor in the lower field. And John is over. Welcome home.
Daytime for John Erhart, 75 minutes, 27.9 seconds. 75, 27.9.
This is Greg Taylor coming across the upper field. And Greg is over. Welcome home, Greg.
Daytime for Greg Taylor, 74 minutes, 34.9 seconds. 74, 34.9. Radio station, if you could have Wendy go in, then go backwards and check in with the things that would help us with timing, knowing who's coming next. So if we can make sure we check in with the closest finishers and then go back to catch up with the checkpoint times.
This is Mark Artem on his way in. He's just making the corner from the lower field to the upper field.
Mark, then Marvin, then Emily.
This is Mark Artem. He's from Alberta, and all 14 of his friends working real nice. Coming into the finishing chute now. And Mark is over. Welcome home, Mark.
Nice job, Mark.
Daytime for Mark Artem, 72 minutes, 49.8 seconds. 72, 49.8. Dog team breaking out of the trees. Would be Marvin Cochran, about to be in the field here shortly.
We've got finishing action with a couple of dog teams coming in here, just coming up from the lower, or into the lower field, I should say, over the rise. There's the lead dogs of Marvin Cochran. And he is being followed not very far behind by Emily Entrican. He has passed her, and she is trailing just by a little bit. We'll see her team in just a second. Marvin is working hard on this hill. He knows how much help that can be. And this is Emily Entrican right behind Marvin Cochran, and Emily's working hard coming up this hill. Coming across the upper field from North Pole, Alaska, Marvin Cochran, past champion of this race, and he's coming home strong. Had some passing action out on the trail today. Looks like he's got all 14 of his friends lined out real nice. Marvin Cochran in the finish chute, and Emily Entrikin coming across the upper field right now. And Emily's got her whole squad, all 10 of her friends running real nice. Here comes Marvin to the finish line, and he is over. Welcome home, Marvin. Working hard in the finishing chute, this is Emily Entrikin, another Fairbanks driver, bringing her team home. She is over. Welcome home, Emily.
Looking good. She might have one to say no. That's right. She just goes out to 14, but she doesn't have one name.
Daytime for Marvin Cochran, 72 minutes, 55.4 seconds. 72, 55.4. Daytime for Emily Entrikin, 75 minutes, 31.5 seconds. 75, 31.5.
So we're showing you the, this is a live shot of the live Google Docs that they're putting up as the mushers go through the checkpoints. So you're able to keep track of all the checkpoint times for each musher and gives a good idea of when they're going to be coming in to cross the finish line. Hopefully we will have a new race order for you by the end of today. We'll know who's in first, second, and third, etc. Also, just want to remind you, are watching Alaska Live, and we're at alaskalive.tv. Hey, if you like this video and you're watching this video, give us a thumbs up down there. We would love it. You can comment as well as you like. And also, if you want to see more live action of all things Alaska, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Again, we're at alaskalive.tv.
We are here with Alex Crittenden. She is a rookie out of Wyoming, and she's busy getting ready for her race, as you can see, but we are going to just have her give us a brief rundown of what it's like to be a rookie in this race from out of state.
It has been an extreme pleasure. We're so excited to be here. This is my first race in Alaska, and for it to be the granddaddy of all races, the Open North American Championships, it's been amazing. We're racing with a field of really super talented mushers and talented...
I think I made something live there. Sorry, folks. Let me try replaying that.
And we're just having a great time.
Really quickly. We are here with Alex Crittenden. She is a rookie out of Wyoming, and she's busy getting ready for her race, as you can see, but we are going to just have her give us a brief rundown of what it's like to be a rookie in this race from out of state.
It has been an extreme pleasure. We're so excited to be here. This is my first race in Alaska, and for it to be the granddaddy of all races, the Open North American Championships, it's been amazing. We're racing with a field of really super talented mushers and talented dogs, and we're just having a great time.
Really quickly.
Hey, folks, sorry about that. I think I might have played that twice there, but we're just trying to get some of the interviews we got pre-race in, so you guys can have something to watch while we're waiting for the next mushers to come through. As you can see, we're showing live here is the split sheet. It looks like Nikki Co is going to be the next one coming in here. We're going to go back to the tower here, and you can watch from the tower and listen to the announcers live there.
We have more finishing action coming up here. Nikki Co is just getting in the lower left part of the field. You can't quite see him if you're on the ground, but he'll be coming out of the trees over on the right side in just a minute. And Nikki Co is being followed closely by Don Cousins.
Okay, as we wait for the next musher to come in, I got another on the spot there interview for you coming up here. This is Haley again at the start, but something for you to watch while we're waiting for the next mushers to come in here.
We are here with Rob Peebles, who is currently in the first position. He is out of Alberta, Canada, and he is getting his team lined out and ready to go for today's action. We wanted to take a second to show you how strong these dogs actually are. Not only are they attached to the sled that they will be racing with today, but also to a snow machine with a really strong line and carabiner attached to keep them from going anywhere before the action begins. We are here with Rob Peebles, who is currently in the first position. He is out of Alberta, Canada, and he is getting...
This is Don Cousins coming in. He's had plenty of action. He's passed 2 dog teams today. And we have another couple teams coming in. Okay, Don Cousins in the finishing shoot.
Here is again the live Google Docs being updated in real time. We're going to make sure that we get back to the start line for you so we don't miss any action here.
James Wheeler, not in that order, in the reverse order. Don's home. Welcome home, Don. This is James Wheeler in the lower field coming this way. He's had some passing action, and Nicky Seo in the finishing shoot. Nicky Seo is over. This is James Wheeler coming across the upper field now. Lots more finishing action coming up. This is James Wheeler. James Wheeler in the finishing shoot. Armon Johnson in the lower field, and we have spotted Alex Crittenden and Doug Butler also. So we've got 4 teams in sight in the finishing shoot right now. And he is almost over. James Wheeler back in. Welcome home, James. Next up is going to be Armon Johnson, just getting to the upper field right now, and down the lower end of the field, that's Alex Crittenden coming. I'm sorry, yes. And Doug, she's past Doug Butler, but he's not far behind her right now.
Another team in the freaking left side.
Getting to the finishing shoot now. This is Armon Johnson. He is from Whitehorse, Yukon, and this is his first time running around the Open North American Trail. Kind of warm today. He's looking like he's pretty warm. Closing on him from behind is Alex Crittenden right now from Bondurant, Wyoming. I think she may be used to some of this warm weather a little more than some of the Alaskan and Yukon teams. Her team's running along real nice, and she's closing fast. Armon Johnson in the finish shoot right now. Down in the lower field, coming up this way is Doug Butler. Armon's back in. Welcome home, Armon. This is Alex Crittenden coming to the finish line now, and she is over. Welcome home. Coming across the upper field, this is Doug Butler from Middlebury, Vermont. He's got all 13 of his friends lined out real nice. He's coming to the finishing chute. More finishing action coming up. Some teams coming into the behind the trees right now. And Doug is over. Welcome home, Doug Butler. Okay, this is Emily Stirling in the lower field. Jennifer, I'm sorry. Jennifer Stirling from Willow, Alaska.
Daytime for Nikki Seo, 83 minutes, 3.9 seconds, 83:03.9. Daytime for Armand Johnson, 83 minutes, 45.4 seconds, 83:45.4. Daytime for Don Cousins, 78 minutes, 27.8 seconds, 78:27.8. Daytime for James Wheeler, 78 minutes, 23.2 seconds, 78:23.2. Okay, I got to finish a team.
This is Jennifer Stirling in the finishing chute, and we've got a couple more teams coming this way, and Jennifer is over. Welcome home, Jennifer.
Lady, you're too far over to the left. You need to move to the right. You with your hand on my stick, you need to move over. Thank you.
More finishing action coming up in the lower field right now. Looks like Andrea Bond is having a real nice run today. She's had a couple passes already. She just passed Evan Hahn in the right down there in the lower field, and they're coming in nose to tail right now. Andrea Bond and Evan Hahn coming in here.
Okay. Daytime for Doug Butler, 79 minutes, 26.3 seconds. 79, 26.3. Daytime for Alex Crittenden, 76 minutes, 14.1 seconds. 76, 14.1. Daytime for Jennifer Stirling, 77 minutes, 36.1 seconds. 77, 36.1.
Passing action, repassing here in the upper field. So Evan Hahn has repassed Andrea Bond. Andrea had a little bit of a tangle there. Evan went by. He's got all 14 dogs lined out real nice. And Andrea Bond's 12 dogs working hard now to catch Evan. We spotted Tommy Bird also way down the lower field and some really good finishing action here in the finish shoot right now. Evan Hahn being trailed by Andrea Bond. And Evan is over. Welcome home, Evan. Here comes Andrea, and she is over. Welcome home, Andrea Bond. Coming home hard, here comes Tommy Bird. This is Tommy Bond from South End, Saskatchewan. Coming across the upper field, Tommy Bird. Looks like Tommy had to pick up one of his friends. He's got 13 on the ground coming in here. Had 14 on the way out. This is Tommy Bird from South End, Saskatchewan. He is over. Welcome home, Tommy.
Okay, folks, I'm going to put the stat sheet on here. This is being updated live. Obviously, all the racers are in right now, and they're finishing up the final times. I'm going to leave this on here for a minute, and we'll keep the tower audio on there. And we're going to see if we can get some interviews with some of these racers so you guys can hear how they feel about their day racing. So I'll leave this up. Give me a couple minutes, and we'll see if we can find some interviews for you.
78, 13.5. Daytime for Tommy Bird, 77 minutes, 41.5 seconds. 77, 41.5. Daytime for Andrea Bond, 74 minutes, 19.4 seconds. 74, 19.4. Hey, Cole, do you think we could move that plywood sign and put it over here behind these speakers? Yeah, I think for tomorrow, I think it'd be better to have it out of the way. We still have one musher out on the trail, and he's been out for 80 minutes. He did it in 90 minutes yesterday, so we probably got another 13 to 15 minutes before we see him. So please stick around. We're double checking times and getting him entered, and we'll be doing 2-day totals because it's been a tight day today with racing times.
We'll get
Just for you folks who are still watching, and still a good bit of you watching, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hey, if you like this feed, make sure you do give it a thumbs up so you can let people know that you've liked this. Feel free to comment as we go along. And if you like more live video, please subscribe to our channel. You're watching Haley, our roving reporter. She's headed out into the dog yard area, seeing if she can meet up with anybody and interview them about their race today. We will also go back to the finish line when that final musher does come in and make sure we get that person crossing the line. All right, so we're going to, I'll spare you the jerky, shaky camera. We'll go back to our tower view here. And when Haley's ready, we'll go to her and get an interview. Our roving reporter out there in the dog yard. If you come to these races, I know a lot of you might be watching from a different state or even a different country, but for me personally, one of the best places to be during the race is actually in this dog yard area, watching these dogs get hooked up, watching the sleds, looking at all the different trucks they have. It is really a fun part of the race. Lots of excitement there. So it looks like she might be possibly getting an opportunity to interview someone there. We'll go ahead and watch them load their dogs. For those who aren't used to dog mushing, that's a really nice dog truck, actually. And those boxes, yeah, you literally lift the dogs up and put them in the boxes so they can transport. And these guys are all tied out. Oh, what a cutie. My goodness. Here, I'm going to talk to my camera person. Hey, Haley. You're live, and I'm just kind of narrating what folks are seeing. You're live. Look at those hounds. Those guys are beautiful. Some people who might be new to mushing might not think that these look like sled dogs because they're used to the masked kind of Alaskan husky-looking blue-eyed dogs, but these are indeed sled dogs. These are really nice hounds, and the type of dog that people use for sprinting. Loading them up. Really strong dogs. If you ever tried to handle a sled dog, you realize that you need to lift them off their feet. If they have all four paws on the ground, they can knock you over. So you lift them up, what sometimes we call taking your dog out of four-wheel drive and putting them into two-wheel drive, and you can transport your dogs that way. Nice truck, though. Smiling man. All right, cool. I think we might be doing an interview here. Make sure your mic's on there, and let me know when they're live.
This is Bob Klupatch. He's got all 9 of his friends on the ground, bringing them home.
We are back in the dog yard with Don Cousins, a.k.a. Cousin Don. We're going to check in and see how things went for Don today.
Well, not 90% of the run was really good. On the way out, I had one dog that didn't want to go too good, so I stopped and put her in the sled. And anytime you're trying to put a dog in the sled that early, it's kind of a little bit of a battle because they don't want to be in there, you know. So, and then the last little ways, I guess, like I had one dog, she hurt her wrist, so I had to load her. So I took the dog that was in the sled, put her back in the team, took the other one and put it out. And that was a little bit of a gong show too. But otherwise, the dogs ran really pretty well the rest of the time. I was really quite happy with how they did. So just too bad we had to do that, you know. So, but that's the way it goes in racing. You never know when you're going to blow a tire, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Don. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
Yeah, you bet. You hopefully have a good day tomorrow and won't have any of that to deal with. Racing's racing, right? You never know what's going to come your way.
Exactly. All right, back to you, Steve.
8720.0.
Okay, folks, we're just back at the start-finish line. We do have one more musher coming in, so we're just going to hang out here at the finish line. Excuse me. And Haley may, in the end, find someone else to interview, so we'll cut to that as well. One more musher coming in, folks, and we will keep you here at the finish line. And soon someone will be in.
Yeah, she's
Hey, are you ready?
She's what? She's
We have 2-day totals.
Okay, folks. Again, just in the dog yard, one of those dog lines. we're just filming these guys. They're undoing their dogs. Looks like they're taking their harnesses off, just finishing the race. A lot of times right after a race, they'll water all their dogs, and a lot of times we'll just keep them in a harness because it's a lot easier. Keep them in line, put the bowls out, let those dogs cool off a little bit. Sure, it is snowy out here, and it's probably around 30 degrees, but for these dogs, that's a bit warm. Dogs like to race, 0, 10 degrees is always a good temperature. Or if you got thicker coated huskies, 20 below is even a good one. So, but here these guys are just loading them all back up. These dogs are on what's called drop chains. So anyone new to mushing, those drop chains hook up to the fronts and backs of trucks or the side of trailers, and it's a good way to keep, when you have 20 dogs, contained and safe without running around dog yards loose.
$149 minutes, 17.3 seconds. 149 minutes, 17.3 seconds for Don Cousins. In 14th position is James Wheeler. James Wheeler's two-day total is 149 minutes, 32.8 seconds. 149, 32.8 for James Wheeler. Jennifer Stirling is in 15th position. Jennifer Stirling two-day total is 149 minutes, 38.3 seconds. 149, 38.3. Andrea Bond is in 16th position. Andrea Bond's two-day total is 150 minutes, 4.7 seconds. 150 minutes.
Hey folks, sorry about that. Our system kind of locked up there. It does happen during some live broadcast. So we're reconnecting some of the cameras we lost, but we are still waiting for that one last musher to come in. So there's still one more musher out, and we will be sure to cover that as they cross the line. In the meantime, we're going to stay with the overhead camera on the finish line and see if we can reconnect with Haley, who's out in the dog yard.
After 2 days of racing, we still have 30 miles of running, about 27 and a half, 28 tomorrow. Come on by for our start for the final heat of the 2018 GCI Open North American, starting right here at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Teams go out in a reverse start order, so we send the slowest team out first and the fastest team out last. That adds lots of excitement to the finish as all the teams come in at one time. Drives the timers crazy, drives the announcer crazy too. But anyway, we're going to have fun tomorrow right here, Jeff Stutter Race Grounds, for the final heat of the GCI Open North American. Take the opportunity to head into the big white tent, visit the craft booths, or get something to eat on your way out of here. Hope you enjoyed the day. Hope the weather's nice tomorrow for our final heat. We'll get this trail fixed up and groomed up and looking good for tomorrow's race. They've also got good food inside the Mushers Hall. So take an opportunity to walk around, look around, and we hope to see you tomorrow.
This is Haley McKegg coming back from the dog yard yet again. I'm here with Bob. Could you introduce yourself with your full name for the folks at home?
Bob Klupatch.
Bob's from Willow. And how did your race go today, Bob?
It went real well. I mean, my guys trotted a lot, but it went real well. The dogs looked very good. And you can't ask for anything better than that because they look like a team. They didn't look like individuals. They looked like a team.
Yeah, it was really warm out there. I heard from some other mushers that the course is pretty darn sticky. What do you anticipate for tomorrow?
It's hard to say. It depends on the temperature tonight, but the trail going out for the first 4 miles was pretty broken up in the middle by the time I got there. So I sort of had to compromise with that. And the rest of the run, it was real nice. It was just, breaking down into a trot. It's not going to get you any medals. So, but that's good. Like I said, they responded as a team. They look like a nice team.
And finally, Bob, how are you enjoying your stay in Fairbanks? You're coming up visiting from Willow, but it sounds like you've got some friends up here.
Well, yeah. Sven has an excellent facility up there on Old Murphy Dome Road, and it's to die for because the Northern Lights were out here the other night, 2 nights ago, and they were starting to dance around pretty good. And Sven operates a tour facility up there, and it's just a dynamite location, and he has a dynamite setup.
Oh, that's awesome. What's the name of his kennel?
I don't know the name of his kennel. It's I believe they call it Arctic Northern Lights or something like that.
Okay, awesome. We'll have to look back into that a little bit more. Thanks for chatting with us today, Bob.
Oh, you're very welcome.
We'll see you tomorrow. Back to you, Steve.
Okay, so we're back here at the start line. We're going to keep this camera on here for you, and in a minute we're going to re-pull up that Google Docs for you so you can get a final look at the race times and the race order for tomorrow. So.
We are back in the dog yard with 2 special guests this time around. We have our race marshal, to my left and our race vet, as you can see from the badge, to my right. Could you go ahead and introduce yourself for me, please?
Yeah, Mike McCowan.
Excellent. And you?
I'm Dawn Brown.
So it sounds like you two have been a duo in the past. How are things going for the two of you this year?
Oh, it's been really rocky. It's been really, really rocky. I thought she'd be easier to work with due to our past work experience, but it's been really rough.
Do you have a rebuttal to this silliness over here?
Yeah. Bye. No.
Good luck without me.
Yep.
How are the animals holding up? It's been pretty warm today. Did you see that affect the dogs at all?
Yeah, Saturday is usually sort of my busy day. It's the second short heat. So some mushers will take a dog that's maybe on the edge of not quite being able to keep up with their teammates. Usually this is a day where I have to work a little harder, but I didn't today. If you may have noticed that some of the teams leaving the chute were a little smaller than typical. So I had very little work to do today. I had a vet student, Anna, from Ohio State University, assisting me today. So she got to see a little, but not a lot, which is kind of the way I like it. So yeah, the dog mushers did a real good job with their dogs today.
That's excellent. I think, yeah, the less you have to do, the better for everyone. And how about for you? Was there much in the way of marshaling that needed to be done today?
I had to have a conversation this morning, but it went well and ended well. And I agree with Don, is that, the second day is normally the rougher day as far as, dogs bagged, but we've had a total of 5 dogs bagged over 2 days and 3 were today. So, in the past we've had double digits. And so that's a pretty good sign that the drivers now are learning and have learned that to be more selective in their picks. And tomorrow, most of these folks will be down to a real hardcore core unit. And it'll be pretty much bulletproof dogs.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we're really looking forward to continued action tomorrow. Thank you so much, both of you, for speaking with us. And we'll send it back to Steve to close us out for the day.
All right, folks. There's one last view of the race sheet there. Oh, I still have somebody live there. Hold on. There is the final results of today's race. I'm going to keep this up for about another minute, and then we're going to close out our feed. Thank you for watching, folks. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to get more live Alaskan action. Alrighty, folks. I fixed that, guys. Sorry. I have too many things in front of me here, too many screens. Anyways, thanks again for watching Alaska Live. You can learn more about us at alaskalive.tv, and you can learn more about the live events that we cover. Make sure you do subscribe to our channel for more live event coverage of all things Alaska. We'll be back here tomorrow around 12:45. We will start our live feed at 12:45. Remember, tomorrow is a longer race day, so we'll be broadcasting a good half hour longer tomorrow. So they will be going a few miles extra during the last day of the race. All right, folks, I am going to sign off here. I have to look at another screen to stop the feed, but thanks so much for watching.